Every time you blink, you're going to jump forward in time. Could be a second.
Ooh, that's good.
Could be 5 years.
But that's enough for
We have to make him do this every birthday.
me. That's a great idea.
I don't know what I'd do without old Benny. It's Chloe, your neighbor.
But understand,
I love it.
no matter how much you like it, you're not going to be able to stay, all right?
With your mother gone, I'm hoping to finally live without all the clutter.
It's over.
What's going on with Benjamin Quinn?
You're ashamed of something. Something so terrible, you're trying to blink right past it.
Close your eyes, Ben.
So I'm going to ask you again. Well, no matter how painful it gets, I'm going to send you there to start from the very beginning. I need you to remember. And just try to enjoy it this time.
Before Your Eyes is a first-person narrative game developed by GoodbyeWorld Games and published by Skybound Games. As you guys probably know, I play a lot of first-person narrative games. I just kind of like them to kind of chill out, really. They're the kind of games I play mostly to kind of relax and not play anything that's a bit too fast-paced or anything like that. But in the last 10 years or so, I have really enjoyed what's come out of first-person narrative games, the way they tell their stories in video games. Firewatch, for example, a game many people have played. What Remains of Edith Finch is still my favorite first-person narrative game of all time. But what I have noticed in the last, I would say 3 to 4 years, is that there's so many of these games that do come out that just basically are trying to tell a story. There's not much in the gameplay variety or anything like that. They're basically telling you a story and you're kind of along for the ride. That's fine and all, but I'm always looking for something that's trying something different in that genre, something that's going to stand out from the crowd, so to speak. And Before Your Eyes was something that really intrigued me before it came out. Before Your Eyes is a game that uses your webcam, because it actually uses your own eyes to play the game. And to be more specific, it uses your own blinks to integrate into the game itself. I guess the first thing I should talk about is how easy was this to get set up, because I think before I played the game, my first kind of thoughts were, oh no, does this actual technology work well in the game? Is it going to be a bit like, I guess, a really bad example, but like the iToy where it kind of works sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes? It works fine. It's actually really well integrated into the game. There's a setup you have to go through at the start, the collaboration with your blinks. The game basically tells you to blink in front of your camera naturally for a couple of times, and then it kind of tests your blinks to make sure it's all collaborated together and you're good to go. And you can always redo this again if you're out of sync during the game. You just hit the space bar if you're playing on PC. It's really easy to do, and it's really easy to kind of reset up again if it goes out of sync.
Your life. You're gonna show it to me. I want to see exactly what made you so absolutely great.
So the whole purpose of using your actual blinks in this game is actually quite clever. Essentially, the way the game works is you are a person who's essentially telling the story of their life, from the day they were born to eventually the end of their days. And the game is recalling essentially flashbacks of different periods of your life. But the interesting mechanic in this is every time you blink as a real person playing the game, that memory, that scene, that special moment that happens in the game ends. Your blinks control what you see and how long you see it for. I really love when games do something like this, where you can only showcase or tell a story like this that can only be done in a medium like a video game. It can't be done anywhere else. You can't really have a movie set up like this, I guess, essentially. Like, it's an interactive story you're telling, and you essentially are a part of that story. Even your actual real life body is part of that story. Some things I want to point out before I go any further is that there's really excellent soundtrack and music in this, and also voice acting. It all kind of goes together and blends together into this very emotional story that is being told, and the music absolutely adds to that as well. Voice acting wise, there's some really top-notch, believable performances in this game. One or two that are a bit like stereotyped, I would say, in this game, just a little bit, but the main kind of performers in this game, the main voice actors in this game, do a stellar job. Obviously, with it being a narrative game and a short narrative game of that, it is an hour and 30 minutes long. It is, in my eyes, the right length. I don't really have a real preference when it comes to narrative games, because like an hour and 30 is a movie length, and essentially that's what this game is. It tells its story in the same length that a movie would, and it's fine, it's perfect. I don't expect games to be 10 hours long or every game to be 10 hours long. I like playing short games. I think actually it makes the game better sometimes if it doesn't go on for too long. What I can say about Before Your Eyes is that there is a lot of relatableness in this. There's a lot of real life stories in this that I think either someone could relate to. I especially found parts and moments in this I could definitely relate to in my own life, or even know someone who could relate to a certain character or a certain situation. It's a story that hits really deep, and while you can't make huge choices in this that will affect the entire game itself, there is choices in this that I was surprised to find that do play a part in the story, and it makes it quite personal as well. But I think what hit home for me with this game, and what made it incredibly unique from other narrative games that I've played, is its gimmick. It's the webcam. It's it following your eyes and your blinks and having that interact into the story. It's fine for it to follow your blinks in order for it to move the passage of time along, and that may seem like a simple mechanic at first, but as the game goes deeper into its story, it actually uses this technology in a different way, and along with the story it's trying to tell, you'll get a certain reaction out of everything that's going on, with your eyes being followed, with the story they're trying to tell, and it all kind of mixes in, and it sounds really harsh and really strong, but this kind of perfect sadness that they try to create in this game. I would say that if you don't play this with a webcam, and by the way, you don't have to play the game with a webcam, you use the actual spacebar if you're playing on PC to actually like recognize a blink or input a blink into the game. You don't have to play with a webcam, but as I said, you know, during this review, the standout thing about this is that its gimmick actually works, and it works so well. It's the most impressive thing about it, and if you were to get rid of that, some of the moments in the game I don't think will be as effective if you didn't have a webcam set up. But it's up to you if you want to not play with a webcam. I just find that some of the moments hit harder if you have a webcam set up.
I think she liked that I was a professor. Gave me a certain gravitas in her eyes, you know, which I very quickly lost.
Before Your Eyes is a powerful gut punch of a game that really makes it feel more immersive with the technology it has. There's narrative games that we've all played throughout the years, and then there's narrative games that come out that try to do something different, to try stand out from the crowds. And Before Your Eyes is definitely one of them. A great little game to play. I'm going to give Before Your Eyes an 8 out of 10. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. If you haven't heard the news, there's a couple of videos back that I've talked about why I'm filming in this location. Still doing reviews. I'm actually putting out way more content than I've done before. I'm doing live streams most of the days during the week, and there's other clips that are coming out as well. So there's a lot coming on the channel, but I'm still doing reviews, just in a different setting. I'm also trying to jazz it up a little bit with the editing. So hopefully you enjoyed this review. If this is your first time watching a review of mine, do hit the subscribe button, check out the other videos, check out the live streams as I said, and check out everything that's on the HiMyNameIsDan channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. I shall see you next time.